Welcome, welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. That's probably a foreshadow of how this video is going to go, how this weekend has gone. Yeah, this could be a longer video. I'm going to try to keep this succinct. And why am I here? This is supposedly should be my weekly wrap up, but here I am, and I came over to my parents' house to do this one while they're at church. I was supposed to be at church, but that dovetails into why this is all a mess, and I'm going to post this with unedited. It's going to be completely raw, and I'm not retaking it. So if I screw up and slip up, you're getting it. And so this weekend, my wife and I had planned to get out of town for our 25th wedding anniversary, which is Tuesday, actually, our official date. But Tessa got sick, and so she got sick late Friday night, and she's been sick all weekend, and so that kind of just, non-refundable room, blah, we ate all that. And so yesterday, in talking with Carly, she was at her apartment, and I needed to get some stuff anyways. It's kind of like that bi-monthly grocery toiletry haul thing. I'm like, hey, you want to go with me? Because now the plans have blown up. Tina's going to stay home with Tessa, and lo and behold, Scott, we made it up to Champaign, which is about an hour north of us. And when we go that route, we always try to hit the used bookshops up as well, because you got to make it worth your while when gas is what it is. But nevertheless, we hit up 4 used bookshops and stayed away from Barnes & Noble, which I was very proud of because we wanted to hit the used ones up. And so, yeah, I've got some books to show you. Now, I have a book haul that's scheduled to come out, and you'll know about that more when I talk about my weekly wrap-up, which will be forthcoming later today. But I wanted to get this video out really quickly and unedited so you have something while I work on, because I'm also changing up my office a little bit and reorganizing the bookshelves, because I bought a couple other smaller shelves and just trying to create space and make myself completely surrounded by books, which is kind of cool. But it's kind of a mess, and so I've been pulling stuff down and kind of moving this author over here, and it's kind of a mess. And so I wanted to give myself a little bit of time before I did my weekly wrap-up. So with that being said, without further, Netly, this is 2.5 minutes. Let's get into the book haul, okay? So I picked up some fantasy. I picked up Assassin's Quest and Royal Assassin. I know this is in the Farseer trilogy. I do not have the first one, but I will get some of those books in the Robin Hobb universe, the Realm of the Elderlings, I think it's called. And so I've read the first book twice, and I want to get back to it, but I will pick it up when I find it. And I can find it usually at some used stores, but I picked up these two. The fiction was half off in one of the bookshops, and so, yeah, I couldn't pass up. I mean, I think I paid $1 each for these. I also found this for $2. It is the Modern Classics of Fantasy. Check out that cover. I picked it up at a used store, and so it has a ton of different kind of, I would call them short stories or novelettes of various authors. Poole Anderson, T.H. White, Gene Wolfe, L. Sprague de Camp. Just looking through some names that I may know. Peter S. Beagle, Ursula K. Le Guin. So I thought it was really cool. I definitely wanted to pick that up. Fantasy is definitely one of the genres that I read and I like a lot, but I don't always read it all the time. And then also we hit up another used store, and I found 4 more books in the Father or Brother Catafel mystery series that I didn't have. And so I picked up The Raven in the Foregate by Ellis Peters, The Hermit of Ayton Forest, A Rare Benedict, The Summer of the Danes. And so I picked up those 4. I think I'm up to 12 or 13 now in this series, and I haven't even read a single one, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. It's just really it just sounds up my alley. And I know if you haven't checked out, I believe Elusive Exclusive Book Society, Tim, Jake, and Nick, they all did. I think they read one of those books recently. I think maybe the first one, and they talked about it in their Elusive Exclusive Book Society. So you definitely want to check that out on YouTube. It's always going to be good fun. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch later. And then I was at another store, and I know a lot of you talk about Lacar or Lacari. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I picked up Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And so I definitely want to check that out. I know a lot of people, being Lamb and others, talk about, hey, you definitely need to check out him. He's probably right up your alley as well. So I picked him up. And then I picked up some other cool ones. Went to another store, and they had some decent mass market deals. And so I picked up Edge by Jeffrey Deaver. Jeffrey Deaver is one of those authors I keep toting about, but I've read very little on the channel, but I've read previously a lot. I read several of the Lincoln Rhyme novels and a couple standalones from Deaver, and I really like them. Obviously, I like his short stories, but I picked up that. And then I picked up Lullaby by Ed McBain, an 87th Precinct novel. They had this really cool little, nicely hardback, and I've been picking up a couple of these lately, and so I definitely want to add this to the collection. And then I saw this, and I was like, wow, I cannot pass this up. I would think in most of the part, when I go into a used store, I'm always looking at the fantasy sci-fi section usually first, and then I go into classics, looking at short story stuff, and then I go into like thrillers and stuff. But when I was in there, they had this, and I couldn't pass this up. The Star Fox by Poole Anderson. I mean, check out that freaking cover, man. That is epic. I know it's kind of glaring here. I'm trying to get it not to glare. But yeah, check that out. Isn't that cool? And you got a picture of him on the back. Very cool. But yeah, it's Mylar and everything. I just had to pick it up. And it has someone's name written in it. Robert Kimbrell is written in the, yeah. And I thought that was just really cool. Really nice hardback. And then a lot of you have been talking about, because I've had a couple of his books, standalone books, and you're like, hey, you definitely need to check out some of his series and other books. And so I picked up Robert Krass. I picked up several of them. Professor X will be happy to see this, but I picked up several of these books at one of the public libraries up north of us that had a huge sale and half off their fiction as well. I picked up a couple Joe Pike novels, The First Rule and The Century. I don't know what order these in. I haven't cataloged them in my inventory yet, so I haven't looked up where they are in the series, but I picked them up because I couldn't pass up a deal. I think I got them for 50 cents a piece. Brand new Elvis Cole novel, Taken. And then I picked up the Sunset Express and Lullaby Town. This one's a little beat up, but I don't care, as you can tell from my shelves, which, by the way, a shelf tour will be coming. That's another reason why I'm working on all of the reorganization. And so that bleeds into this. So when I was at the Champaign Public Library, we always go down to the Friendship Bookshop. It opens at 1 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday, I think. It was pretty barren down there this time. They restock every so often. But with that being said, I was over one of the tables, and they had this thing. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it's this huge paper bag, and it's stapled. And on the front, it said, mystery bag of mystery. And then someone had ripped it, but the bag's not ripped open. And it said Clive Cussler, and it said $2. And so this behemoth thing was $2. And so I have no idea what is in here. I know it's Clive Cussler. I read Sahara, which I believe is a Dirk Pitt novel, years ago. And I remember thinking it was pretty solid. I don't remember anything about it. I know Austin at Outer World Media picked up a bunch of Cussler a while back and read several and reviewed them on his channel. And I was like, hey, maybe I need to take a dive and get some Clive Cussler. And for $2, I can't really pass up. I have no idea what's in here. I did not open it. As you can tell, it's sealed. And so I'm opening it live for you all. So here we go. Okay. So the first book out is Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler, a Dirk Pitt novel, Celtic Empire. It's in trade paperback, looks brand new. Clive Cussler, a novel of the Oregon Files, Fire Strike by Mike Madden. Another trade paperback. Clive Cussler and Jack DeBrille, The Titanic Secret, and Isaac Bell Adventure. Dragon by Clive Cussler. Valhalla Rising, a Dirk Pitt novel. The Wrecker by Clive Cussler and Justin Scott. Inca Gold, a Dirk Pitt novel. Treasure of Khan, a Dirk Pitt novel in hardback. Look at that on the back. He must really be into cars because that's an older car. But yeah, look at that. And then there's 3 more hardbacks in here. Wow. The Emperor's Revenge, a novel of the Oregon Files, Clive Cussler and Boyd Morrison. 0 Hour, a novel from the Numa Files, a Kurt Austin adventure, Clive Cussler, I can't say that, and Graham Brown. And then Clive Cussler with Paul Kimprekos, a novel from the Numa Files, Medusa, Kurt Austin. And so a bunch of series. So I've got 3 hardbacks, 3 trade paperbacks, and 4 mass market paperbacks. I paid $2 for that. $2 for this thing. And so a lot of different Clive Cusslers. Obviously, I'm interested in the Dirk Pitt stuff, so definitely I'll be checking out where these are and what numbers they are in the series. And I'll have to check out possibly adding Dirk Pitt and some of these others into the series list I got going on. But yeah, I can't, $2, you can't pass that up. So that's my book haul. I hope you enjoy this. I'm gonna load this up. Again, no thumbnail, no editing. It's gonna be raw. And then later today, we will have my weekly wrap up out for you all. So stick around and I hope you have a great Sunday. Thanks.